Namaskar and welcome to MATV Sky Channel 711 और फेसबुक के माध्यम से सारी दुनिया में ये प्रोग्राम आप देख रहे हैं। ऑफ कोर्स अमेरिका में स्वागत टीवी के माध्यम से भी ये प्रोग्राम देखा जा रहा है। प्रोग्राम का नाम है एक मुलाकात। और जो लोग भाई मुझे MATV ऐप और इस प्रोग्राम में देखने के आदी हो चुके हैं उनको ये बता दें कि ये प्रोग्राम अलग प्रोग्राम है, आपका अपना प्रोग्राम MATV ऐप और हम ये शुरू हो रहा है फिर से एक बार इस मंडे से यानी कि 25th ऑफ दिस मंथ से। एनीवे प्रोग्राम एक मुलाकात में आपका स्वागत है और आज के हमारे जो अतिथि हैं वो हैं मिस्टर पीटर कुक, ब्रिटिश डेप्यूटी हाई कमिश्नर फॉर गुजरात एंड राजस्थान। और आप हम स्वागत करेंगे मिस्टर पीटर कुक का। Good evening, Peter.
Good evening. Namaste.
Namaste. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Before we go along and start talking about the few very important points and everything, as we were discussing before, just tell us about little bit of your childhood in Calcutta.
Well, thank you. This is lovely to be on the show this evening. And thank you for giving me a little chance to talk about me. I feel very strongly associated with India. I was born in Kolkata many years ago. I have a very famous birthday as well. I was born on the 15th of August.
Wow.
So very associated with India.
Yes, indeed.
Very nice. India gives me a national parade every day every time I have a birthday. That's a very lucky guy. But I was there for 7 years. I lived there with my parents. And then when they came back to the UK, obviously I came back and I went to school here. And then eventually joined our foreign ministry. And I'm now being sent back to India to work. And so I'm delighted to be back. It's lovely to be in India again and to reacquaint myself with a wonderful country and wonderful people.
Right.
So it's been a super experience. I've been there 1.5 years so far.
Did you ever remember anything of Bengali? Did you speak Bengali at all in your childhood?
Little bit. I left when I was 7 years old, so I had small child Bengali. So it was a mix of Hindi and a mix of Bengali.
Right.
And I remember my family and the people that I was with, the children in the playgrounds. So yes, but I've forgotten it all. It would be lovely to, but it's all gone now.
Do you remember any sweets of Bengal at all, Calcutta?
Well, the most famous memory for me, which I was delighted, I came across in an Indian restaurant in Ahmedabad some jalebi. And it is one of the things a little boy will never forget, is the sweets. I'll tell you the name of the Prime Minister when you're 5 years old, but you will remember the sweets that you had. So
Indeed, that's very true.
Right. The food again.
It's good to know that you're born in one of the tallest, longest city in Asia, Calcutta. It has got its own beauty. People talk a lot about India, but when you go to Calcutta, you see two to three different worlds within one city. It's a wonderful city. Now you are in Ahmedabad, Peter, which is again a very vibrant place. And then you are responsible for Ahmedabad or Gujarat and Jaipur, or Gujarat and Rajasthan rather, which two states next to each other. And there is so much culture, there is so much music, there is so much food, and there is so much everything about these two places. One of the two most important states from India. Rajasthan also is a very big state. Now, while you are helping people there, helping British people there and so on, did you pick some Gujarati and some Rajasthani at all?
Oh, a little bit. Enough to be able to say things like Kemcho, able to be polite. Some of the experiences have been wonderful. You're absolutely right. The culture in India is so vibrant. They say the language changes every 30 miles. They say the culture changes every 30 miles. They say the food changes every 30 miles.
It does indeed.
Have a fabulous experience to sample this rich diversity, this rich array of food and culture. I'm sorry to say that I was a very thin guy when I first came to India, and I put on weight. But that's the the penalty for enjoying the food so much.
I don't see that as a penalty. Rather, they made you very healthy now. You know, you look healthy.
Like,
Right. Now that we are talking about something, an experience which lots of people, even the wisest of wise people, people who are very matured, people who are old, people who have seen everything in their life, those who are 80 and 90 years old, they can never expect such thing happening in their lifetime, and yet we are experiencing it. I always say in my program that something which the whole army couldn't do, something which the biggest magician or the crook cannot do to you, and that is one thing: they locked you inside your house against your wish without any force. It's not, they are not putting a policeman or a lock on your house, and yet you are so scared, you are so unsecure that you are worried to go out, and this is something unbelievable. What do you think?
well, I think you put your finger on on the question. It is such a strange experience. It is something we had never even imagined that we would face. I think we've thought about all the other kinds of issues in our lives: security, about trying to build up our prosperity, look after our health, etc.
Yeah.
But no one could anticipate it. No one could expect this kind of crisis. And I think it has caught everybody out. Nobody has found this an easy thing to deal with, whether it is a government, whether it is a family, whether it is a community, an organization. Everyone is affected by this.
Yeah.
And so we are learning, and it's a real challenge for us to try and work out what is the right thing to do, what is the best thing to do. And in my honest feeling, we are going to get, I hope, most of it right, but we will not get everything right. And that's just being human.
Lots of time when you come across a problem, whether it's a health issue, where it's a financial issue, where it is a sentimental problem, people first, the wise people always try and look at the problem, or what is causing problem, or the root of the problem itself. And in this case also, lots of people are doing lots of things. Some people are playing the blame game, some people are trying to blame it on somebody. But I think we have played with nature enough, and we have destroyed the jungles, we have destroyed the trees, we have cleaned out the mountains. Anything we want to get our foot on, we don't think about the nature balance, we just keep on destroying. Do you think it's about time that we should look inside and realize and tell ourselves that this earth is not only for humans, this is for other people also? What do you think, Peter?
Well, I think, Ram, you've put your finger on a really important question. I think many people are now realizing the impact that we as humans have on this planet, and we are beginning to wake up to the challenges that we are causing for nature, for the ecosystem in which we live, whether it is air pollution, whether it is climate change, whether it is the shortage of water, which is a big problem in Gujarat and Rajasthan. We need to do better as a society. We need to understand these problems. And coronavirus has been a huge shock. It has really caused us all to stop, think much more deeply about our health, our well-being, our ability to be healthy in our society. And I hope that in the lessons we learn from this, we will take out some very important steps to do better, to be guardians of our environment, to look after it well, so that our children can enjoy it and our grandchildren too. That's what I would hope.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And last thing about this, which is also, if you look around into different countries, this is about time we also think about the population control. Don't you think so? Because more people you have, more will get infected, more people you'll have to look after more people. And it is very difficult. As you can see in India, that initially India controlled it well with the lockdown, and all of a sudden there is a surge. Simply because there is so many people living in a very small place. What do you think about that? Do you think that this is something which we need to look at, the population control?
Well, I think you're right. I think it goes beyond just population control. That, of course, brings many different questions into play. But I think we recognize that the overall impact that the human being has on his ecosystem,
Yeah.
whether it is in cities, whether it is in the rural communities, whether it is in big urban centers, our transportation links, the pollution we cause. I think there are so many aspects of this which are all interlinked. We need to have a really deep, thorough examination of how we can do better. I think population is one small part of a much bigger jigsaw, and we need to understand the whole jigsaw if we're going to try and get the right solution.
Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
we have really important conversations coming up globally
Yeah.
about climate, about population, about how we manage our environment. I think it's time for us to sit down and really work hard at those issues.
Right, very, very correct. Now, coming back to the current problem, which is also related to the past and is going to affect our future greatly, there are people who are given the responsibility, whether they are fortunate enough or unfortunate. I wouldn't say that. It's up to individual. But there are people like you and me and many other people who have given the responsibility to lead the people, to help the people, to assist the people who are in trouble and they don't know what to do. And in from that point of view, now you are, I mean, you are in UK right now, but mostly you will be in India and helping people who need your help, especially British people who are stranded in India. So my first question, a real question to you, is about repatriation flights from India. How is it taking place? What's happening there?
Well, thank you. This has been a huge challenge for us in the British government to try and manage. This has been one of the strangest experiences for me in my career in our foreign ministry. We have now arranged 64 aeroplanes from India back to the UK.
Right.
Over 7,000 people have now been part of this exercise to take them back home.
Okay.
We're working still to try and support the British people that are left in India. We want to be in touch with them to find out what their challenges are, what their problems are, if they are vulnerable, if they are particularly at risk from this coronavirus, how we can help them. We want to give them good advice. We are telling everyone to listen to the scientists, listen to the advice coming from government and from scientists, because that is where we think the solutions are likely to come. For us, it's been a huge challenge. We started in the very first week in April. We have been now for about 6 weeks on these flights. From 11 different cities across India. And I've been very proud that in Ahmedabad, we have managed 14 of these planes, taking back British people who are vulnerable. We've focused very much on those who are vulnerable and their families, because clearly we want to bring them back with their family. But we know there are some people waiting, and we are working very hard to try and make sure we respond to all of these people, look after their needs, sure that they have the access to medicines, to good healthcare and good advice.
Considering the size, the sheer size of India, and people went in India in sort of February, March, because it was cooler in generally. So they must be scattered. To source them, to contact them, to get in touch with them, or for them to get in touch with you, and vice versa. I mean, sheer size of India makes it difficult to really organize this all. How long do you think it will take for you or for the the infrastructure or the government to get in touch or bring most of those who are willing to come back? How long do you know? Any idea? Do you have an idea?
Well, good. A very good question. My feeling is that I think we're coming close to the end of the process of arranging flights. That is always under review, and it remains under review. And we will always respond to demand. If there are enough people that we can help, then we will do that.
Right.
You're quite right that it is the challenge has been India being so vast. We have had some wonderful stories of people who have been part of this journey so far.
Yeah.
A lady who had traveled 10,000 miles from the very eastern part of India
Wow.
to Delhi to our flights. It
Right.
took her 3 days in the transportation which we provided to get her from her particular place of residence to the airport in Delhi, ready to fly home.
Wow.
We have arranged flights that start in Bangalore and come to Ahmedabad and then fly to UK, from Chennai, from Hyderabad, from Amritsar has been one of the key areas.
Yeah.
And I'm pleased to say that in both Amritsar and in Ahmedabad, I think we've done probably around half the flights from India. So
Okay.
Gujaratis, Punjabis have been a key constituency, a key group of people that we've really wanted to help. And that, of course, is because of the strong links between those two states and the UK.
Yeah.
That's where the community is strongest, and so that's where our people have been.
Yeah. Now, when in here, people are have lots of patience. They listen to you. They follow the directions. But when you go to Gujarat and Rajasthan also, in fact, entire India for that matter, people, for example, if you go to Gujarat, kem cho, chalo, 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 chalo cho, they when they see something, they forget that, oh, there is a rule, there is a problem, that we have to follow certain order. Chalo, 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 kem cho, chalo, chalo. They just want to run away. Everybody wants to get in one plane and go home. And also there are old people, and they are so, they are so fragile. They don't know, because one side they went to India for their holidays, their homeland. On the other side, now they are worried about their life. But not only that, they are more worried about their grandchildren and so on in UK. So mentally, they are absolutely broken, and they are in such a state of mind. So when you tell them something, it's not received. They are not receiving. They are not listening to you. They just want to do something, and it becomes so difficult. I have seen this. How do you guys tackle this? It's really, really very difficult.
Is a very difficult issue, and let me say that we are human beings also. We have families. We come from big families too, and obviously with my particular connection to India, I sympathize with these people who are finding it very stressful, who are finding it very. There are so many questions, and even yet the scientists do not have all the answers, and so it is very, very hard to work out what is the right thing to do.
Right.
I think at times like these, I rely on and listen very carefully to the people I trust. I rely on good information coming from journalists like yourself and programs like this,
Yes.
who are able to share good information, who can give good advice to people.
Yeah.
And so this is a wonderful service that is important for people to listen to. It's really, I think, helpful for people to talk.
Yeah.
You're quite right. It goes against our nature. As human beings, we are social animals. And it goes against nature to try and hide in our houses and to stay away from contact.
Yeah.
That is not who we are as a species. That's not who we are as human beings. We want to interact. But I think for all of these stressful occasions, the most important is to listen to the best advice, follow the scientists, follow what your government, your community is telling you. Because only, I think, if we work together are we going to defeat.
Right.
I'm going to quote Her Majesty the Queen said, "We will get through this," and that was a very powerful and a very important message, and I took it very much to heart. That if we are strong and if we stay together, then we will get through this, and that
Indeed.
I think is a very important.
There's another thing, like while you are organizing aeroplanes and getting people to get connect with and all sorts of things, and say for example, for a particular reason there are only 10 people or 20 people, or somebody, like you said, some lady traveled from 10,000 miles. The people who are yet to be collected, or they are at the port where they can be put in flight, or who have to wait for maybe a week, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, you never know. How is British government looking after the British people or British Asians who are stranded in different places? How are they contacted? Are they looked after very well?
Well, we certainly try, and we want to make sure that we can do our best for them. It would be easy to say that we could make this coronavirus go away. Of course, we can't do that. So our best advice is, the best we can do is to give them advice. If they are nervous about where they are staying, if they want to travel home to be with their family because they feel being with their families is important, they can be more comfortable, they can be better looked after, then that is something we're certainly willing to do. When we asked all the British citizens in India to contact us through our consular telephone numbers and our consular email addresses, we were delighted that so many people came forward. Many of them explained their situation. Many of them explained that they had problems with medication, with elderly relatives they wanted to get back to. So we've tried to be helpful. And in Ahmedabad alone, or in Gujarat alone, about 3,500 people we have been able to help. So there are always going to be more that need our help, and we want to try and keep working at this. So it's not going to stop. We will keep going until such time as we see normal beginning to come back, and then we can I think make adjustments and learn how to prevent this from happening again. But I would encourage any British person who is still in India to contact us at our consular inquiries, either on the telephone. It is available on our FCO Travel Advice website. That is the best place to go for this information. The best advice we about whether it is better to stay safe at home, whether it's time now to think about flying back to UK, how you can medicine, how you can get good healthcare advice. India is doing so well in so many respects, and health is one of the things that has been such a dramatic change over recent years. That Indian healthcare has improved so much. So we really want to try and give the best advice and the reassurance to British citizens that that we can look after them properly in India.
Peter, before we go to our, first of all, whatever information so far you have given, it's absolutely brilliant, very useful, and very reassuring for those who are watching this program in UK and their families or their relatives are stranded in India, and I'm sure that they will be relieved and they will be passing this information as we speak now. We will talk more about all these things after a small break, so don't go away. Thank you.
The hottest Black Friday offer is with Leica Mobile. You get a whopping 50% off when you buy UK Plan Mega this weekend. 40 gigabytes of data, unlimited UK minutes and texts, and 100 international minutes for just £10 this weekend. It's Black Friday madness from Leica Mobile. 50% off should not be missed. Visit leicamobile.co.uk for details. Offer is valid to new customers who shop online between 28th of November and 2nd of December 2019. Leica Mobile.
Air India introduces additional flights from London Heathrow to Mumbai and a new direct flight from London Stansted to Mumbai from 14th February 2020. Fly in luxury on Air India Dreamliner with extra legroom in economy and flat beds in business class. For attractive fares, contact your travel agent now or visit airindia.in.
नमस्कार भाई, MATV आप और हम ये प्रोग्राम एक ऐसा प्रोग्राम है जो पिछले 7 सप्ताह में आसमान की ऊंचाइयों तक छू चला है, और उसका कारण है आपका प्यार, आपका लगाव, आपका डेडिकेशन, और आपने प्रोग्राम को बहुत चाहा है, क्योंकि आपका अपना ये प्रोग्राम एक बार फिर से आ रहा है अगले सोमवार से शुक्रवार तक दोपहर 2:30 से 4:30 तक रहेगा। तो साथ मिलते हैं अगले सोमवार MATV आप और हम में दोपहर 2:30 पर।
The Akshay Patra Foundation has taken on a massive initiative to make sure that millions of people receive a freshly prepared plate of food. We are now serving over 1 million families, children, daily wage earners, migrant labor, and generally people who are deprived of a basic plate of food. We just do not want anyone to go to bed hungry. Please join us in this massive endeavor. This is a fantastic opportunity for all of us to come together and help millions. Every little penny that you donate will make a massive difference to hundreds of people. Thank you.
हेस्टन हाइड वेस्ट लंदन के सबसे शानदार होटल्स में से एक with 303 air conditioned rooms and suites, one of the largest banquet spaces in London, meeting room for up to 1200 people, conferences, musical function, weddings या कोई भी गैदरिंग, मनपसंद भोजन, शानदार आयोजन और बेहतरीन वेन्यू, 400 गाड़ियों की पार्किंग के साथ Heston Hyde. For bookings, call 0208 572 1818. वेलकम बैक। आप देख रहे हैं एक मुलाकात राम भट्ट के साथ में, और आज हमारे गेस्ट हैं मिस्टर पीटर कुक, डेप्यूटी ब्रिटिश हाई कमिश्नर फॉर गुजरात एंड राजस्थान, who is based in India, and we are talking about the coronavirus and the situation in India and how British government is helping to those who are stranded in India. And Peter, welcome back.
Thank you.
Again, we welcome you on behalf of all our viewers who are watching us in UK. Not only that, we also have people watching us in United States of America through Swagat Television and around the globe on Facebook. And we had some very interesting feedback. Somebody said, has he tried Rasgulla from Calcutta? And and other people, there are 2 or 3 people please ask Mr. Cook that if he takes normal British breakfast, or he takes papdi, gathia, jalebi, dhokla and thepla when he's in Ahmedabad.
I love all street food. It's a wonderful thing. I am told that when you are in Gujarat, you have to eat local. You have to try the local delicacy.
Yeah.
And I remember being taken by good friends to Surat to have gola, but they said gola is only at midnight. You have to wait till midnight before you can try proper gola. So, the wonderful experiences. What a wonderful place for that kind of culture.
Well, I'm sure that the people who are asking, they will be very happy to know that you are also trying the local breakfast and local, what do you call, after 8 and other things. Now, the very important point you said that India is doing fantastically well in terms of, organizing the whole thing or fighting this coronavirus. How the 2 governments are helping each other on that level?
Well, let me first of all say a huge thank you to the Indian government, and particularly to the Gujarat authorities, who have been fantastic in helping us with our particular flights. Right. It has been a huge challenge because of the lockdown, which makes it very difficult to arrange transportation. It makes it very difficult to arrange for airports to be opened so that flights can come in and staff are working for us, and we want to say a huge thank you to everyone, from Mr. Gangal and the airport director in Ahmedabad, to the colleagues from the Gujarat authorities and the Ministry of Home Affairs, etc. They have been fantastic, and that help is the best example of the relationship. So I've been very grateful to them all. I wanted to also point out that the governments have been working very closely on a number of key areas. We know that UK and India, for example, have been working in the G20, and have been trying to work together to come up with solutions for the medical challenge as well as the economic challenge. Right. And we've been trying, I think, to understand how best can countries work together to solve some of these. We understand the economic difficulty that this is going to put many people into when we stop making things, when we stop our economy for this kind of thing. This has a big impact on people and on their income and on their livelihood. So as well as the healthcare part, which is very important, and India has been hugely helpful with medicines, with PPE equipment for us. We are also working very closely with the Indian government on vaccines. For example, on 4th of June, the UK is going to invite many countries for a global vaccine alliance, a meeting in a global vaccine summit, a meeting in the UK to talk about how we can collaborate better on vaccines. And India is a key part of that. And so I know that we want to do more work in this area. So the governments are collaborating at the most senior levels.
Right.
We are trying to work closely at the state levels to work out how we can help.
Right.
We want that to continue and deepen. And I think one of the experiences that comes out of crises like this is that we work better together.
Right.
We understand that we need to be much more in partnership with each other. And that's certainly what when I get back to India, is to relaunch our partnership.
Now, exactly, I mean, there is lot, as you said, there's a lot going on between two governments. In fact, there are lots of other governments are also working together to sort out or to plan out future, basically, post COVID. But particularly, I want to know, I mean, there is a whole lot of talk going about this vaccine which is being developed in United Kingdom, and it's going to be then manufactured in mass, because if we somehow, by grace of God and with all the hard work by scientists, once we come up with the vaccine, we'll need billions and billions of doses for it to be successful. So I want to ask you if there is a particular plan, or there are some plans going between India and UK to develop this vaccine together.
I think that's exactly what they will talk about when we have this summit 4th of June.
Right.
That is very much planning.
Right.
We recognize that the first step is to find the vaccine.
Yes.
And once we find the vaccine, is then to make enough doses that we can protect all our citizens, British citizens and Indian, and indeed all the citizens of the world.
Right.
So I think there is going to be a very extensive discussion about this at the Global Vaccines Summit. I think many governments want to work on this. There's already been a huge amount of progress on international collaboration.
Right.
And indeed, the EU has a huge program of research, which we already collaborate with India.
Yeah.
We will deepen, I'm sure. We will look to try and find how we strengthen those areas of collaboration and partnership. That's what we want. So the short answer is, yes, it's in our mind. We don't have the answer yet, but we want to work on it with India.
Right. So that, I mean, basically the willingness is there. There are efforts into the same direction. The outcome we will know in future, right? And now what I've realized, this has got nothing to do with any of this. I have realized that when you talk, you use to. It's a particular word used in India. Where did you pick it up?
These are habits that you pick up as you go along through life.
Yeah.
The act you learn. Some of the habits, the things. I've been very lucky to travel to many places, so I suspect there are little hidden secrets from all the places I've been to. But well, that you spotted, there is still a little something from India.
Oh, that sounds very good. It sounds really, really good. Now you are working. You are based in Ahmedabad, and you are also responsible for Rajasthan. Now, something very strange. Although these two states are connected to each other and geographically, and the language also about 20% similar, 20-30% similar, yet the attitude or the way people approach to each other is very different, which I have seen because I travel to both places on a regular basis. How do you manage to get along with both sides of important people as well as laymen?
Well, thank you. I'd like to say there's a great secret. I'm not sure it's that much of a secret. I think I suppose the way I approach it is to listen, is to people tell you what they understand, what they see, what they feel, what they think, and try and that information to help. Gujarat is famous for its industry, for its entrepreneurship, the land of the entrepreneur. These are business people at heart. And so when you begin to see a little bit of that culture, you understand who they are, what they are thinking, the kind of questions they are going to ask. Gujarat very much focused on that kind of aspect. And I think the land of kings, as the name suggests, has a different history, different sets of culture, different sets of issues. But when we come together as a group,
Yeah.
We see the same issues being important. We want to look after. We want to have good health care. We want to have the best education we can get. We want to make sure we provide for our family, for our neighbors, for our society. And that I think is common not just to Rajasthan and Gujarat, but to countries around the world. And so we have far more things in common as a group than we do things that separate us.
Right.
Sometimes language is difficult when we don't speak so easily. I wish I could speak better Bengali, better Gujarati.
Actually, I'll give you a small tip. In Gujarati, they say kemcho. When they meet you, in Bengali, they say kemon achen. So very similar.
There is, and there are little traits like this.
Yeah.
I come from Scotland, where you travel from the west of Scotland to the east of Scotland, and the accent changes and the question. So it's very similar.
It is very similar.
But the difference is the clever part. But just listen, just ask people, and they'll tell you.
That's true. Now, there is a huge population of Indians in this country. United Kingdom has a great number of people from India who are continuously contributing in all parts of the society. So, what message will you give to Indian diaspora?
Well, I think the most important message for the moment is obviously about coronavirus, and it is to please listen to the advice and please follow the guidance.
Right.
I think these are really important messages to try and protect everyone, particularly the most vulnerable in our society. So the elderly people who this is affecting the worst. We really want to look after them. And I think that is a very important message. So please keep listening to that advice.
Right.
I think I would also say that I have been so impressed, almost the best example of how our two nations work together is in the diaspora. That bridge, as Mr. Modi called it, that the strength of our community between UK and India, UK and Gujarat, UK and Rajasthan, so strong.
Yeah.
And I think we want to preserve that. There is more that we should do together. There's more that we can build on.
Right.
Education, healthcare, in business, so many other areas we would like to develop. I think that we should always be optimistic.
Right.
That we will get better, and that if we work even more closely together, prosperity and safety and a more exciting future is what we want to try and build. Right. And that's kind of my mission in Gujarat. So I want to work very closely with the UK diaspora community. I mean, they're a fabulous community.
Now,
I think
in life there is nothing one way. It has to be give and take. When you do something, you expect something. If not in monetary terms, if not in physical terms, you need something, some appreciation. And this is what exactly my mind says this, that what do you expect Indian diaspora from, what do you expect them to do to make it even better?
Well, I think they are ambassadors in a way for our. So many of them do wonderful things. They raise money for charity.
Right.
They help support communities back in Gujarat. Right. I think many of them are very connected still to their villages, to their towns, to their neighborhood, indeed to some of their temples. There's a very strong religious connection, and I know from the temples in London and in Leicester and in Manchester and other places, the strong connections that exist.
Yeah.
I would say keep celebrating those.
Yeah.
Keep those contacts alive. Keep them vibrant, because that I think is how we can do better. I would also encourage the communities to, I think, strengthen the dialogues. It's been wonderful to see how many, even though it's been a sad time, how many people still travel between Gujarat and Rajasthan and the UK.
Yeah.
See if we can strengthen that even more. Let's have more educational links. Let's have more business links. Let's try and build a stronger future for us both. So I'm an optimist, and I want to see these relationships grow and become even deeper.
Wow.
And I think that's what we can do.
Very nice. Now you are in Gujarat and Rajasthan for almost 2 years, correct? So I'm
Yes.
sure that you, while your time there, there was one Navratri, and there was one Diwali, and
Yes.
there was one Gangaur. Did you ever participated in those musical things? Navratri, where they play Garba and all.
Oh gosh, yes. I was. I got into trouble trying some garba. I'm not a very good dancer, and
Okay.
so one of the things we know in the UK, we have shows like Strictly Come Dancing and this lovely.
Yes, yes, yes.
I was warned by my children, please, Dad, never do dancing in public. But in India, you just you get carried away by the spirit, and so you enjoy the whole experience and the colorful outfits, the dancing, and what I really enjoyed is that there are young people, sometimes 3, 4, 5, age so young dancing,
Yes, yes.
but they are dancing with parents. They're dancing with people who are 70, 75 years old, and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I also had a wonderful experience at Holi with Festival of the
Colors.
Colors.
Yes, yes.
An embarrassing photograph of me covered in pink and blue and all the wonderful colors just from walking along the street and being
Wow.
part of the celebration. I love that. That's part of being in India. You have to live that culture. You have to experience it. Fabulous for me.
Wow. Peter Cook, Deputy British High Commissioner for Gujarat and Rajasthan. It has been a wonderful experience to talk to you and to understand everything British government is doing with your help, and everything you're doing on your behalf to create a better relation, create a better harmony, and helping people who are stranded there. I, on behalf of MATV and on behalf of all our viewers across the globe and UK, thank you so very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Namaste.
Namaste.
A very good evening. Thank you very much, Peter. That was Peter Cook, the Deputy British High Commissioner for India and Gujarat. और भाई इसी के साथ में ये प्रोग्राम अब समाप्त होता है। ऊपर वाले ने अगर चाहा तो सोमवार को आपके और हमारी फिर से एक बार मुलाकात होगी आपके अपने प्रोग्राम MATV आप और हम में। तब तक के लिए राम भट्ट को दीजिएगा आज्ञा। नमस्ते, गुड नाइट।